Hi, in the previous tutorial, we learned how to install the Hoji mobile app and fill out and submit the sample form. In this tutorial, we are going to learn how to sign into the host server so that we can see the output of the data that we submitted. So the first thing you do is fire up your browser and navigate to www.hoji.co.ke. You click on the sign in button, and using the email and password that you used to sign up on the mobile app, you sign into the server. So mine was gitahi@hoji.co.ke, and my password, as you might remember, was 123456778. I hope you have a more secure password than that. Once you sign in, just like on the mobile app, you see the sample project there. Okay? When you create your own projects, as you shall learn in later videos, then those projects will be listed here as well. For now, just click on the sample project to open it. Once you open it, you see the various properties of the project, and we're not going to go into any of that during this video. On the bottom right hand corner, there's a green button that says View Forms. Click on that to see the forms under the sample project. As you might remember, there was one form under the sample project called the sample form. So click on that form to open it. Again, the form has got plenty of properties that we are not going to go through during this video. Now on the right hand side, there's an array of buttons. There's one that says View Fields, which I want you to ignore for now. And there's one further up that's orange in color that says Menu, which I also want you to ignore for now. The three other buttons are the output buttons, and they'll give you different kinds of outputs for the data that we have for the sample form. So let's start with the analysis/pivot output button. When I click on that, the platform essentially runs an analysis of all the quantitative variables that we have in this form. So for instance, you can see for gender, we have 40 males who have submitted data for this form so far, and 22 females who constitute 35.5%. For age, there's a nice and beautiful histogram that tells you that a majority of the people who have submitted data for this form are between the age of 30 and 45. The youngest person is 1, however that happened, and the oldest person is 100. The average age is 36.66 years, and of course you can see a whole lot of other summary statistics like standard deviation and skewness and kurtosis and so on. Now in terms of favorite colors, the most favorite color is blue. About a third of the respondents, or a third of the people who filled out this form, selected blue as a favorite color, and the least favorite color is yellow. Okay, so let's see the pivot output. To do that, you go to the menu button and click on Pivot. So what this output does is take all of the data that we have for this form and put it on a pivot table that you can then manipulate. There's a whole lot of things you can do with this pivot table, but for now I will just very quickly show you something basic so that we can move on to the other kinds of outputs. So by default it loads up the male and female data, and I can say chart that into a column chart, for example, and I get a column chart like that. If I want to reverse the order, then I can do something like that, and then I have male coming before female. The other kind of output you can do is a data table, and to see that I'm going to go back to the breadcrumb menu, which is what you call this menu. Click on sample form and then click on table. So in this output is essentially again all of the data for this form put on a basic data table. It's in reverse order, so the record you entered last, assuming you did that recently, as I did, is right at the top, and you can see all of my responses as you might remember them. Further along, there's plenty of metadata, like who entered the record, when did they create it, when was it updated, when was it uploaded, how long did it take them to enter it and complete it, and where were they, and all of that kind of data. And if I actually click on the row itself, then I can visualize the record that I created or the data that I entered as I would a paper questionnaire. So if I go back to table through the breadcrumb menu again, and I click on, so just a moment for that to load, and I click on menu, I can also download the data. Okay, now when you download the data, you essentially get a CSV file, and this is useful when you want to export your data to other platforms. So maybe you want to analyze it further, using Excel or SPSS or Stata, whatever, your favorite statistical package is. Then you would download the data from there. The other kind of output you can see is a map. The map shows you where your data was collected, essentially. So all of these people who submitted data for the sample form, where are they? So as you can see, a huge majority of them are in Nairobi. We have one point in Nyahururu, Kinamba, Nanyuki, and so on. So if you just pick a random point and click on it, you can see there's a point that was entered by Martin. No, wait, it was entered by MNN, whoever that is, on Jogoo Road, and the caption for that is Martin. So the name of the respondent, which is what we are using as a caption, was Martin. The other output you can do is you can essentially monitor what your enumerators are doing. So this shows you output by enumerator, essentially. So who has done the most records? As you can see, it's Hoji Limited at 8, Harry Thuku at 6, and so on, all the way down. Then you can see the time it's taking people to complete the filling the form. In terms of, on average, it's taking people about nearly 3 minutes to complete the form from beginning to end. The absolute least amount of time that's been taken by anybody is 0.13 minutes, and the maximum is 132 minutes, which is just over 2 hours. You can see different analysis for the metadata. How long is it taking people to upload the record, and so on, all the way down. How many records have been geotagged, how many have not been geotagged, what is the average accuracy, about 619 meters with a very, very good median of 20 meters. This last one is a bit interesting. It just shows you the distance between where one was when they started completing a record and where they were when they finished entering the record. So usually you expect the average here is 0. But if someone started filling a record here and they ended up completing it in Nakuru, for example, then obviously there would be a big disparity. So that's about it for how to visualize the data that you and others entered. In the next tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create your own project on Hoji. Thanks for watching.